Meghan Markle is in crisis after a series of epic disasters, including the total failure of her tell-all interview with Emma Grede, sex assault allegations against her BFF and Lilibet's godfather, no less, Tyler Perry.
How that friendship and that bond means to you?
It means a great deal to be able to help people and inspire people, so I really...
Meghan Markle just got caught up in a wild mess, and it all circles back to her strange, low-key friendship with Tyler Perry, right when he's getting slammed with that massive $260 million assault lawsuit. Meghan's been acting real funny, and the streets are talking. Word is she's doing everything she can to vanish from his orbit like she was never even there. Mind you, this is the same guy she once praised for letting her crash at his mansion during her royal meltdown. Insiders are saying Meghan's wiping the internet clean, deleting every pic she's got with Tyler like some kind of digital hit job. Folks close to the situation claim she's even blocked him, blocked her own kid's godfather. Like how you cut off someone you once called family just because things got messy. People are siding to switch up real hard because now whispers are getting louder that Meghan might know way more than she lets on. Some even believe she had her hands deep in Tyler's alleged Hollywood circle. And now that the heat's on, she's bolting faster than ever. Suddenly, she's playing the silent game, distancing herself like it's life or death. But if she's truly innocent, why all the damage? Control? This is no regular drama. This is elite-level shade with potential secrets that go way deeper than we thought. So grab your mugs and don't blink, because the tea I'm about to spill, it's scalding hot and dripping with receipts.
Throwing very significant friends under the bus. A slightest sign of trouble. I mean, do you remember Jessica Mulrooney, her best friend before her wedding? So much so that her daughter Ivy was one of Meghan's bridesmaids. She was immediately kicked to the curb, never to be seen.
Now, this Tyler Perry scandal, it's spiraling fast and shaking up everything people thought they knew about him. His image as a self-made Hollywood powerhouse and protector of the underdog crumbling. That clean-cut inspirational mogul vibe out the window, because now he's got a jaw-dropping $260 million lawsuit hanging over his head, and the details are disturbing. Filed by actor Derek Dixon on June 13th, 2023. This lawsuit isn't just about broken promises. It's about power, manipulation, and alleged abuse behind the glitzy Hollywood curtain. Derek says Perry came off real supportive at first, told him to chase his acting dreams, hyped him up with promises of creative, projects, connections, the whole 9 yards. But according to the legal docs, that support had strings attached, unspoken ones. The moment Derek didn't play along, boom, things got twisted. The suit claims Perry crossed all kind of lines. We're talking unwanted touching, sexually loaded messages, and a toxic work vibe we're saying no meant. Getting iced out, retaliation, manipulation, all allegedly used to keep him quiet and in check. And it doesn't end there. Word is this might just be the beginning of a bigger mess. Folks are wondering if more people are about to come forward and whether Perry's empire, the studios, the brand, the influence was built with secrets that are finally seeing the light. As these explosive allegations against Tyler Perry keep gaining traction, they've triggered a storm of questions. And not just about him. Now, the spotlight's turning toward the folks he's closely tied to, and that includes none other than Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Let's not forget Tyler didn't just throw support their way. He gave them a whole mansion to hide out in when they dipped out of the royal family. He played hero, offering them safety when the whole UK had turned its back on Meghan. But now with Perry being hit with shocking claims of being a manipulator and alleged predator behind closed doors, people are starting to ask why Harry and Meghan are acting like they don't see any of this. Their silence, it's straight up loud. Fans and critics alike are siding hard, wondering how two people so vocal about justice and human rights got nothing to say when it hits their own inner circle. And it's looking real, messy. Meghan and Harry now find themselves in what folks are calling a straight-up lose-lose trap. What's hitting even harder is how personal this connection was. Tyler wasn't just some friend. He was like family. He stood by them when the world turned cold. So now that he's being dragged to one of the biggest scandals of his career, why are they suddenly ghosting the conversation? And now things are heating up even more because social media detectives are not letting this one slide. People have been digging through old interviews, red carpet footage, and Instagram posts, and what they're finding, it's throwing a whole new light on Meghan's bond with Tyler. She used to sing his praises like he was her savior, calling him a guardian angel, bragging about how he gave her a safe place when the royal family drama exploded. But now, it's like he never existed. And here's the wild part. Fans are pointing out that Meghan was more than just a guest in Perry's home. She was publicly backing his brand. Remember that Oprah interview? She mentioned Tyler like he was family. That level of loyalty doesn't just disappear overnight unless something real shady went down behind closed doors. Even the press is starting to pick up on the sudden shift. Tabloids are dropping headlines questioning why she's distancing herself with no statement, no acknowledgement, no support, nothing. It's total silence. And that silence is giving people room to speculate. And speculate they will. Because when a billionaire with power, influence, and connections faces these kind of charges, the fallout always spreads. Now, the big question is, was Meghan just a pawn in a much bigger game? Or was she closer to the truth than she ever let on? Back in 2020, when Meghan and Harry were caught in the whirlwind of their royal escape, headlines blazing, public opinion tearing them apart, one person stepped in from the shadows like a surprise hero, Tyler Perry. Out of nowhere, he handed him the keys to his $18 million Beverly Hills estate, threw in full-time security, and gave Meghan something she said she hadn't felt in a long time. Safety. The wildest part, she'd never even met him before. Meghan admitted she was emotionally shattered, crying on the phone to a man who was basically a stranger. And yet, she said he made her feel like she could finally breathe. That random act of generosity quickly turned into a deep bond. A friendship so strong by 2022 Tyler was officially named godfather to their daughter Lily. That's no small thing. That's a public declaration of trust on another level. Tyler didn't just become a friend. He became family. He was posting glowing birthday messages for Meghan, calling her unshakable and celebrating her like a queen. He told the world he was proud to have a front row seat to her journey. Everything about their bond screamed loyalty and admiration. But fast forward to now and the whole narrative is falling apart, with Perry wrapped in shocking allegations and facing a $260 million lawsuit. People are suddenly looking at this so-called lifeline with serious suspicion. The Sussex's connection to him has gone from inspiring to incriminating real quick, at least when it comes to Meghan's public image. And through all of this, Meghan has stayed completely silent. No clarification, no support, not even a generic no comment. Observers in both the US and UK are raising eyebrows, wondering how someone so vocal about doing what's right can go radio silent when things get this messy. Meghan Markle is walking a tightrope right now, and it's looking shakier by the day. If she publicly speaks out against Tyler Perry, she risks turning her back on the very billionaire who gave her and Harry refuge when the world was coming down on them. The man who sheltered them during their royal exit, kept them safe, and offered emotional support when they had. No one else. That kind of loyalty doesn't come easy or cheap. But staying silent, that might be even worse because in this case, silence isn't neutral. It's loud. It's dangerous. And it's got people questioning everything she claims to stand for. Meghan has built her image around female empowerment, advocacy for survivors, and calling out injustice. But now that serious allegations of sexual harassment and abuse are aimed straight at her daughter's godfather, she's got nothing to say. And Harry's not off the hook either. This is the same man who's made a whole career post-palace talking about institutional abuse and how power can silence victims. But when that abuse allegedly happens within their own trusted circle, complete radio silence. Critics are calling it what it is, a glaring contradiction, a public contradiction. How can they rally for justice on the world stage while turning a blind eye at home? And now the rumors are heating up. Royal insiders are whispering that Meghan's already working behind the scenes to quietly distance herself from Perry, unfollowing, removing mentions, pulling back. If that's true, it could mark a huge shift in how the Sussexes manage their tightly controlled image in inner circle. And here's where it gets even messier because the walls might be closing in faster than Meghan expected. Behind the scenes, PR teams are scrambling, trying to control the narrative before it completely slips out of their hands. Sources close to the palace insiders are saying Meghan's been holding late-night crisis meetings, trying to figure out how to cut ties without making it look like she's flipping on the man who once saved her. But here's the catch. The public already sees a shift. Fans notice she stopped liking Tyler's posts. Old mentions are vanishing from her interviews, and every photo of them together slowly disappearing off the grid. The so-called guardian angel is getting the digital eraser treatment and fast. And people aren't buying the silence anymore. They want answers. They want transparency, especially when you build your whole brand on accountability and truth. And let's not forget Tyler Perry isn't just facing one allegation. People are whispering that more victims might step forward, that there's more to this story than even Derek Dixon. Revealed, if that happens, Meghan's delay in saying anything to come back to haunt her. What's even wilder is how some of Meghan's own fans are now split. One side is begging her to speak out to prove she's not protecting someone accused of predatory behavior. The other side, they're trying to justify the silence as strategic. But in the court of public opinion, that strategy is starting to look real shaky. At this point, it's not just about Perry. It's about her, about what she stands for, about whether the whole empowerment message was just branding. Samara Gill didn't bite her tongue when she dropped her opinion on the Sun's royal exclusive. And let's just say she came with receipts. Gill made it clear Tyler Perry's connection to Meghan and Harry could seriously wreck the Sussex brand. She pointed out that this isn't just about one messy lawsuit. It's about the kind of company Meghan chooses to keep. And right now the optics are looking real shady. Let's rewind for a second. Perry wasn't just some Hollywood buddy. He was their lifeline. When the royal drama hit the fan, he offered them his $18 million Beverly Hills mansion, private security, even a jet. That wasn't friendship. That was full-blown protection mode. He stepped in like a knight in designer armor. And now that same bond is turning icy fast, with this lawsuit blowing up and Perry being accused of heavy stuff. Meghan's total silence is becoming louder by the day. People are watching her like a hawk, wondering what she's waiting for. Is she playing it cool to dodge the fallout? Or is she throwing Perry under the bus to save her own name? Because let's be honest, staying quiet might help her avoid direct involvement. But it also makes it look like she's abandoning the same man who put his reputation on the line for her back then. Perry defended her when everyone was coming for the Sussexes now that he's the one under fire. Crickets. And now the whispers are turning into full-blown conversation because people are finally starting to question the real Meghan Markle. Was all that talk about loyalty, empowerment, and standing up for what's right just a well-packaged brand? Or is she simply choosing silence when it no longer benefits her to speak? Insiders are now hinting that Meghan may have never truly seen Perry as a long-term friend, but more like a convenient protector during her royal exit storm. The mansion, the security, the safe space. It all came at a time when she was public enemy number one in the UK. And Perry, he gave her cover. But once the dust settled and the Netflix deals rolled in, it seems like that connection slowly started to fade. Now that his name is being dragged through scandal after scandal, Meghan's distancing feels calculated. No public statement, no subtle show of support, not even a vague repost of a quote about justice or compassion. Just silence, ice cold. And what's wild is people who once supported Meghan are starting to speak up, too. Former fans, bloggers, and even royal watchers are saying this looks like straight-up abandonment. That the moment Perry became a liability, she wiped her hands clean, like he was useful until he wasn't. And while Harry has stayed just as quiet, folks are calling a betrayal from both sides. This isn't just about Perry anymore. This is about how the Sussexes handle pressure, loyalty, and public image when it gets uncomfortable. And here's the bombshell that could take everything to the next level. People are now wondering if Meghan knew more than she let on this whole time. Some online sleuths are digging deep, claiming there are always odd vibes around Perry's relationship with the Sussexes. From how fast their friendship formed to how private Perry stayed about it after the initial headlines, something just doesn't sit right. Now, with the lawsuit gaining speed, folks are asking if Meghan and Harry saw red flags early on and just looked the other way. It is not far-fetched either. Hollywood is full of silent pacts and unspoken deals. And with Perry being one of the biggest power players behind the scenes, there's real talk that Meghan might have ignored some things to stay in his good graces, at least until it stops serving her image. Meghan's trying to dodge the blowback, but the public's not having it. Her polished silence is coming off. Less like no comment and more like I'm hiding something. Meanwhile, Perry's camp hasn't said much either, just legal pushback and a few vague statements. But behind the scenes, sources say his inner circle is panicking because more witnesses might come forward. And if that happens, anyone connected to him could get pulled into the storm. Tyler, Perry was one of the very few A-list celebrities who publicly backed Meghan and Harry, especially during their explosive fallout with the royal family. When the palace turned cold and the headlines got vicious, Perry opened his doors, gave him safety, and stood beside them when almost nobody else would. That move cemented him as more than a friend. He was an ally during their darkest hour. But now, if Meghan ends up cutting ties with him just to protect her image, it might be the clearest sign yet that the Sussexes are choosing brand over bonds. And if they don't cut ties, well, then they risk being dragged for defending someone tied to disturbing accusations. Either way, it's a mess and critics are already on it. The internet is blowing up with people saying Meghan only linked up with Perry because of his money and status. They're calling it performative, transactional, and shallow. Just scroll through the comments. But people are not holding back. You befriend snakes, expect to get bitten. They're grifters. This is just what they do. No wonder the royal family shut the door on them. That's the kind of energy flooding social media right now. There's this growing belief that Meghan would have done anything to align herself with someone like Perry before Harry ever came into the picture. And now that the glow-up is threatened, she's backing away. People are starting to say what they've probably been thinking for a while. This whole friendship may have never been about real connection, just mutual benefit. Perry gave her protection and prestige. Meghan gave him royal agency. He was a total stranger to them. Just a name, a connection, a resource. And now people are saying it loud. If anyone actually believed Meghan and Harry would stand by Tyler Perry during his downfall, they were dreaming. Because according to the growing chorus online, Meghan only moves when it benefits her. And Harry, many feel he just goes wherever she leads. She won't stick her neck out for anyone. Some are, saying not even the man who gave them shelter, support, and literally became godfather to their daughter.
January 2023 interview with Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes. Silence is betrayal. I imagine Perry would appreciate any backup at this point. Harry and Meghan's silence looks completely self-serving, and they could be jeopardizing their relationship with the mogul going forward. So far, the relationship has been an incredibly lucrative relationship for one party and one party alone, and that's Harry and Meghan. Tyler Perry didn't need to appear in their Netflix series. What benefits did Tyler Perry get in defense?
That silence, it's not just personal. People see it as calculated. And now the whispers are turning into full-on judgment. More and more folks are re-examining Meghan's entire connection to Tyler Perry. And the fairy tale version is unraveling fast. What once looked like a sweet story of unexpected friendship is now being picked apart. Because here's the kicker. Tyler Perry wasn't even invited to Meghan and Harry's royal wedding back in 2018. That's right. Despite all the headlines about their close bond, he wasn't on the guest list. But Oprah was. George and Amal Clooney had prime seats. So did other big names. So now people are asking, was this ever about friendship? Or was it about strategy, optics, access, and influence? Insiders say this isn't the first time someone in Meghan's orbit felt used, then discarded. Perry might have offered protection, but was he just a piece in a bigger image game? A move that looked heartfelt on the surface, but was always about positioning? According to royal biographer Tina Brown, Meghan's wedding guest list wasn't some heartfelt gathering of old friends or loyal confidants. Nope. In her explosive book, The Palace Papers, Brown laid out plain. That list was a strategy, not a celebration. It was a curated showcase of the names Meghan wanted to align herself with, not necessarily the people closest to her heart. And guess who wasn't on that list? Tyler Perry. That's right, despite the headlines painting him as her lifeline and godfather to her child, Perry wasn't even in the room when Meghan and Harry said, "I do." He only entered the picture after the royal drama exploded and the palace doors slammed shut, when Meghan and Harry were getting iced out by the firm and Hollywood was siding their every move. Perry swept in with a Beverly Hills mansion, private security, and public support. It was only then that he got pulled into their tight inner circle, and later, he was honored with the title of Godfather to Libet, a role that carries emotional, cultural, and even political weight in elite circles. But now that bond looks shaky, very shaky. Hollywood insiders are buzzing that Meghan may be pulling back for a reason. Her industry footing isn't what it used to be. Her Spotify podcast archetypes had the hype, but fizzled out fast. One insider even said they struggled to book guests. They had a real hard time, and it shows. This is becoming a pattern that people can't ignore. Meghan links up with powerful names, rides a wave, and when things go south, she's already gone. Whether it's royals, media empires, or mogul like Perry should, she gets close, gets elevated, and then vanishes when the brand gets bruised. Critics are now calling out Meghan's star-studded connections. Oprah, the Clooneys, Serena Williams, and of course, Tyler Perry, all proudly showcased in the public eye. Yet behind the scenes, those bonds seem pretty one-sided. And now, with Perry at the center of serious sexual harassment and assault allegations, that once glowing friendship is under fire. While Perry continues to firmly deny all claims, the deafening silence from Meghan and Harry, two people he gave shelter, security, and emotional refuge to, is becoming impossible to overlook. This was a man who stood by them during their royal exit, when nearly everyone else backed away. He became godfather to their child, praised Meghan's strength publicly, and gave him a literal home. But now, not even a neutral statement. From the Sussexes, no words, no support, nothing. That absence is sparking serious backlash, especially since Harry and Meghan built their entire brand around empathy, advocacy, and justice. So where are those values now? This whole situation exposes a much bigger issue when it comes to celebrity culture. What really happens when scandal hits, when serious allegations come out? How do stars choose between loyalty and image? Is silence a betrayal or just a move to protect the brand? For Harry and Meghan, the pressure is even higher. Every step they take is under a global microscope. One wrong move and the headline spiral. So now the world waiting. Will they finally speak out? Will they quietly cut Tyler Perry off behind the scenes? Or will they keep pretending like nothing's happening? Whatever they choose, it won't just affect them. This drama is pulling back the curtain on how Hollywood friendships truly work, especially when power, privilege, and reputation are on the line. It's one thing to preach empathy and advocacy when the cameras are rolling, but what about when it's uncomfortable, when it's personal? This ain't just about Perry anymore. It's about how the powerful act when their power gets challenged and who actually shows up when the lights go out. So, let me know in the comments. Do you think Meghan and Harry are handling this right, or are they showing their true colors? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this tea. And don't forget to tap in next time to see what's bubbling in our hood. You don't want to miss what's coming next.